Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of What the Field. I am Emmeline and today I'm not joined by a co-host as usual, but by several guests to talk about conversion to organic. So today we'll be discussing why it is so hard to convert to organic and shed a bit of light on the different aspects of this process with Maxime Durand, who is the co-founder and CEO of BioDemain, a French company that actually sells products in conversion, and two of our own farmers who have lived this process of converting or of turning away from conventional agriculture, which is Tiphaine Quemener from Maxime Quemener and Pedro Liñan, who is sitting here with me today,
Yes.
who is one of our Spanish farmers from
Doña Marina farm.
Exactly. Tiphaine, thank you so much for joining us, Maxime and Pedro as well, sitting here. Maybe we'll start with Tiphaine, so you could tell us a bit about your own story.
My name is Tiphaine and I'm the founder of Maison Quemener. It's a familial farm in the west part of France, and we are specialized in onions, shallots, cauliflowers, or potatoes. And we decided to switch off to organic product 2 years ago for one half of the farm. The second part of the farm is still conventional.
Okay. Are you planning on converting it to organic?
Yes, it's in the plan, but we wanted to do step by step.
Okay, perfect. Pedro, how about you?
Yes, I'm Pedro Liñan. I'm Spanish, and we run a family farm in the south of Spain, which is called Doña Marina farm. This is an old family farm that has different kind of crops, from cereal crops, almond, and also we have lavender. And we are doing that right now, a family transition, and collaborating with between my uncle and me to do the direct selling through crowd farming since the last year. That was fantastic, a really big success. We are really happy. And also doing some kind of transformation of our farm into organic farming, and even we want to go further. So, but as you said, we are going step by step, little by little, because we have to learn in the process.
And Maxime, I imagine your trajectory was a little different as a company founder. So tell us a bit about you and BioDemain and what it's all about.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everybody, nice to meet you. My name is Maxime, I'm 25 years old, and as my accent must betray it, I'm French. I'm one of the two co-founders of BioDemain, it means Organic Tomorrow. We are a fair brand, which is helping producers to switch to organic methods. So our goal is to promote products in organic conversion, like this apple juice. So we have kind of a simple claim in French. It's this apple juice is not yet organic. Buying a BioDemain product is helping a producer to switch to organic methods. And so our goal is to pay this producer in organic conversion at a fair price, really near the organic price, and then to promote these products to the final customer. So finally, we offer a range of everyday life products to every customer. And so they can buy these products, and behind it, the producers that they are helping to switch to organic.
Okay, so it's a really great concept and certainly something that is missing in the market, in our experience. So tell us a bit more about the company's story. So how did you come to found it? What were the motivators?
Yeah, sure. 4 years ago, my great uncle André, he was a farmer in Brittany, in the west of France. He decided to switch to organic methods. That's a really good thing, as you are doing, Tiphaine and Pablo. It's a really good thing for the environment, for society, and even for the economy, because it's creating jobs. But it's quite difficult. As we'll discuss later, I think the organic conversion is a really difficult period for farmers. It's a period of 2 to 3 years, during which they have an increase of their costs, an increase of their workforce, investments, and sometimes a drop of the production. For my great uncle, it was really difficult. He didn't succeed in his organic conversion, and he had to stop to sell his farm and to reconvert himself. That was quite a shock for me 4 years ago. how is it possible in today in our society that farmers wanting to go to a more sustainable agriculture could end up like this. It was really incredible. So we decided with Stefan to launch our brand, so BioDemain, to help these farmers having good salary during these 2 to 3 years. So that are really complicated.
And how did your clients find you? How did you get to your clients?
In fact, two brands. We have BioDemain, the most famous one, which is an organic shop, and we have a second brand, Transition, which is doing the same thing but in conventional shops. So everyone can find our products in his everyday life shop. So that's always they can find us, and I think a bit everyone can buy our products. Everyone which is interested in having good impact, which is committed to the environment, organic customer. In fact, we are a simple solution to allow everybody in his everyday life to have great impact on farmers' life and the environment. So, yeah, a bit everybody can buy our product.
Okay, and would you say that you're basically a brand?
So we are a brand. You can find us in shops within all the other products. So yes, we are a brand.
I'm kind of hearing from what you're telling me that at least in France, consumers seem to be aware of what conversion products actually are or what it means to convert to organic.
I would say that yes, they know that organic conversion exists. It's not a secret, and I think a lot of them know it, especially organic customers. They don't know, of course, all the details of it, but it seems that the whole concept of organic conversion, they have it.
Speaking of the details of converting to organic, Tiphaine, Pedro, you are living it. Maybe you could tell us a bit what this process has meant for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to start, Tiphaine?
For us, we decided to convert for 3 reasons to organic, because it was first for our values. We wanted better production for better consume. The second reason is that we were really close to organic for some vegetables production, so it was not a big step. Mm-hmm. And the third reason is that we wanted a better valorization to increase our revenue for some products. Okay. So that's why we decided to convert.
Okay. And you, Pedro?
Yes, our story is quite similar, but it's true that in some parts it has not been so difficult for us, because in the last, let's say, 2 decades, we have been starting doing some methods and practices that could be implemented in organic farming, like reducing the use of agricultural inputs, or we could say herbicides, and also using only sheep manure for the fertilization. So we were already doing quite a sustainable agriculture compared with everyone around. So it was already quite interesting in that point. And I was saying like, wow, the thing is that we are doing this, which is quite good, but the valorization, as you were saying, it's difficult to transmit to the customer. So you need to go to the point of becoming bio, because this certification, organic, is helping you to tell the customer that I'm behaving like that because I want to make it better. So it was this point of finding the opportunity. We were already doing something that we thought it was more sustainable, and saying like, let's put it into the market and put the value onto the customer.
Okay, it's an interesting point actually. A lot of our customers ask us, they're like, okay, because they're a bit skeptical of the products that are not officially labeled bio, that are not officially labeled organic. They say, okay, this all sounds great, but if you don't really have a seal, if you don't have a label, how do I know that the farmer is really not using pesticides? Because a lot of people are afraid of pesticides, at least they really don't want to have them on their products. not even speaking of herbicides, fungicides, and all of that. Usually people are rather, consumers more focused on pesticides, I think. And so how do you, Maxime, for example, for your farmers, how do you guarantee that the product you're selling will not still be treated with pesticides or whatever else is used in conventional agricultural practices?
When you are in conversion, you have control as when you are in organic. So for customers, our communication is really simple. All our producers are cultivating in an organic way. So they don't have yet the label, but they are already not putting any pesticides, herbicides, and so on their cultures. So I think it's as simple as it. They are controlled by, in France, it's mainly EcoCert, but by certification organism. So, I mean, they have all the certificate to say that they are, yes, not yet organic, but they already cultivate in an organic way.
That's good to know. So you had, Pedro and Tiphaine, have you had visits from some certifying bodies or authorities?
Yes, in our case, we are checked every year.
Oh, okay.
So for starting, there was a first visit to talk about how it was going to be the transition, because first of all, you have to also to discuss if you want to, how is the process, because you have to measure if you want and if you can do it. Mm-hmm. So we started like that, and after that we said yes, let's go. So we started the process that they made a visit, they explained us what should we be doing, and after the first year, still in the conversion, we had the first visit and we made all the checkups that everything is going with the checkpoints that we should be working on all the process.
Yes, the same for us. We have control and audit from an organism of certification, and every year or twice a year.
So maybe you could explain to us, like, what are the basic steps if a farmer wants to convert to organic?
For me, the 3 steps is first to be well informed about the specifications. The second step for me is to meet producers that are already in organic. It's really key to know other way to produce, how they produce, and what are the difficulties. And the third point is to make simulation and to know what are the financial positions that you can have going to organic, and because as Maxime will tell you, that can be a little bit complicating the 2 or 3 years. So make simulation and look at the figures of your production.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's I would say that it's really important. I really agree with the points you said, and it's also to really learn what because you are going to make a lot of changes that are really good for the environment of your farm, your products, etc. But also you are making changes regarding your field practices, how you are managing the farm, and it implies a lot of maybe costs or changing the techniques that you didn't know, and you really need to measure and understand where are you going to, because maybe you analyze that everything and you say, well, maybe this is too complicated for me, or not. And that's really important, because if you don't measure correctly, you maybe fail, or at a certain point say, I cannot anymore.
Yeah. Maxime, do you happen to know, on average, how likely it is that a farmer is going to fail in this process?
It's quite rare. I think it's less than 5% of the farmers in conversion. Gladly, like 96% of the farmers will succeed in this conversion. It's really rare to see farmers coming back from an organic conversion. So yeah, it's quite positive, and it's often like my great uncle André, because of economic reasons, and it's mostly when the farm was already in a quite bad financial situation, and so the conversion is a little too much to continue. So yeah, almost everyone can succeed in it if you think well about your model and how you will valorize your production during the commission, you can really finish it. But a lot of farmers do not try it because of the cost of conversion. Mm-hmm. So a really few of them fail the conversion because a lot of them and the weaker don't go to organic.
Okay, so this actually makes sense, right? That those that are starting this process are so committed, or maybe, as you mentioned, Pedro, that you're already maybe producing in a way that is closer to organic than the typical industrial, conventional farmer. That also makes it probably easier, and motivation has to play a certain role also here, no? Personal motivation?
I think so. I really think so, because there's the economic reasons, of course, but you're not totally sure if the economic reasons, because the prices are higher, are going to be higher for a long term, for example. So only for economic reasons, maybe it's not a sustainable motivation.
Yeah.
But having other motivations, I always say that, and I always think that if you are only for that and you don't want to, and you don't really believe that you want to make a better agriculture or a more sustainable one, don't do it. Wait for it. Wait for it, and when you are ready, because there will be moments when it will be really difficult. Yeah. And it's like, why do we have to do this? And if you believe in that, it's much easier.
It's much easier. Tiphaine, how do you feel?
Yes, the same. You have to do it by passion, not only, for financial reason.
Okay. And so what were the major difficulties for you in this process?
You have to say that it's expensive to go organic, and
why is it expensive?
The seeds are expensive. You have less production at the beginning, so that's why the valorization, the price is really key, and you have sometimes to convince your customers. For us, we have lose some clients, some customers, but we also gain others. So it's a balance. So it's okay for us. But yes, it can be the first years a bit complicated, and I think it's the first difficulty.
And for you, Pedro?
I think that probably there's a part about the costs, because there's the cost of the transition, also maybe the machinery that you need. In our case, we need different machinery, or with some areas we cannot work, so we really need to understand regarding the costs. We have not seen a loss in production in the moment, but it's true that we are in a really arid and harsh area, we can say.
Yeah.
And also it's true that we felt a little bit lost regarding how to do the treatment. For example, there's pests that traditionally it was easy to, you have this kind of products, chemical products, you apply them, controlled. And then they tell you cannot apply any more of this. And you say, okay, what can I do? And
now
you
I have a pest and it's
I have
killing
the pest,
my crops.
I have the pest, maybe I'm risking my trees and they are dying, and that's, you are losing not your production, but maybe the resources to make your production, your trees. And that has been really something, a lot of anxiety, we could say.
Yeah, I can imagine. If it's your livelihood and it's being attacked by something.
And you say, like, what can I apply?
Yeah, but what can you apply? I mean, I hear there's, for example, insects you can use, basically to counterattack the ones that are eating your trees.
There are many products on the market for different kind of things, but for example, they tell you sometimes with the biocontrol or products that are for organic farming, that no, the efficiency, the effectiveness is not so good. You say, okay, but I need something that works. So, or it's not so well proved. So you feel like a little bit not so well covered, because everyone around is working the same way as ever, and it works for them. And you feel like I'm risking a little bit, and that's an obstacle.
Yeah, that's
and
hard,
for convincing older people that are not so brave, or they don't want to fear like young people. It's in the family, probably you had the same thing, convincing the old generations, it's quite difficult.
Yes, the same here. No problem.
So converting this process, you think it's a generational thing? Then you can confirm that, or in Maxime also, maybe you want to weigh it in. Is there a higher percentage of young farmers that convert to organic than of more traditional older farmers?
Yeah, totally. We have a lot of young farmers, especially the one who have before another life, like they are recent farmers. Finally, like I have 2 or 3 examples in our first partners, people that were in human resources or in logistics, coming back to agriculture to take back the farm from their parents, and then converting the farm. So I think yes, this new generation of farmers don't have the old models print in the brain. So that's why they want to do something new. They want to reinvent the farm and their model.
Yes, sure. I think that concern about the planet and the earth is really important for the new generation. So that's why that can decide some new generation to work in a different way.
What would you say are like the 3 or 4 really major things that make a difference in organic agriculture compared to conventional agriculture? What are the main 3 or 4 differences between conventional and organic? Except for, okay, we've talked, sorry, I'm just answering my own question partially because we just talked about it. So it's the way you treat plagues and such, so no use of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides?
Not
so
exactly like that. It's more,
natural ones.
Exactly. There's synthetic ones.
Okay, yes, exactly.
That's
an important, good point. Very important. So no use of synthetic agrochemicals. What would be another factor?
I would say more about consequences. By using less pesticides, you have a big impact on the capacity of your soil of absorbing carbon, because you're creating more organic soil, and so you absorb a lot of carbon from the atmosphere, and so the captation of your soil will really increase when you are cultivating in an organic way. And so a farm in organic will absorb a lot more of carbon than another farm. I think it's a really big consequence that we don't, a lot of people don't know about organic, but it has a really big impact on climate change. That's why it's a big solution, a wide solution of this problem.
I would say also the animal welfare. It's important because there's different rules, more space. It's nicer for the animal. I would say the reglementation, that's important too. And I also think that with the certification, you as a customer already you have the understanding that there's a commitment behind. The farmer has a commitment, and he's thinking that he wants to make a better farming. He has the bravery enough for risking your way of living in order to make something better. So it's something to really consider, that with the certification you are proving the world that you are trying to do it better.
Okay.
You're doing the effort.
Good point. And Tiphaine?
I will say that the organic system is a system that is more that is taking care about more the future than the present. That it's a process that is more involved in the future of the earth and for the new generation.
Okay, that's beautiful. And Pedro, Tiphaine, did you see an increase in the biodiversity in your fields due to this process? And maybe even in what Maxime mentioned, better soil quality or less degraded soils, healthier soils?
In our case, I don't totally agree, because our solution for example, for weeding, in our case, instead of using herbicides, there's a lot of plowing. not plowing, but tilling the soil in order to reduce the amount of weeds that are competing with your tree. And that's the first step in order to manage the weeds. And then it's quite uncover the soil, the ground, and regarding carbon and organic matter, we are not doing our best, but we are looking for new techniques about having a complete ground cover, but in an organic way. So it's challenging because maybe you need a different machinery that it's costing 20,000 euros or something like that in order to control that grass or that cover of the soil. So we have not seen a big change in the moment, but we expect that it will be coming because still we are not utilizing some certain kinds of herbicides that can be really aggressive or for the microbiology of the soil where there's a lot of biodiversity. So I'm sure there's a lot of biodiversity coming around. In our lavender field, for example, we have right now a ground cover in between the lines, and the animals are, the sheep are eating that in order to control, and it's really amazing to see that. It's really, really nice. There's a lot of biodiversity because you have different species and the lavender. Great. That's really cool.
And Tiphaine, for you?
Yes, same for you. We are at the beginning, so we are. There is no big changes, but yes, I think that in the next few years we will see some changes. The taste of the product is different. We can say that, and a lot of our consumers come back to us and say, "Oh, the products have the taste of the past."
Wow.
I don't know how to say, but yes,
they're reminded of their childhood.
Yes, they are finding new taste of the products.
And just to come back about biodiversity, to give two numbers of recent studies. A farm lands cultivated in organic will contain 30% more species than a conventional one, and 50% more biodiversity mass compared to a conventional land. So I think you guys are maybe too early in the process of organic conversion to see it, but I think you will. I hope so. You will see a big increase of the numbers of species and individuals in your lands.
Like how far along are you with the conversion process? Like
right
how many
now,
years in are you?
For us, we have to wait 2 more years. 2 more years? Okay. Sorry.
And
you started?
It started 1.5 years ago. So it's 3 years.
3.5 years. Well, I guess we could say between 3 and 4, right?
Yes. But now we are starting a new one. So we will have fields all the time, I think, forever in conversion.
Because you have to start a different process, like the process new again.
You start again.
Every field, every crop.
Exactly. That field will be separated from the first one. It's considered that this is organic and this is still in conversion, maybe, when the first one gets to organic.
Yeah. And Tiphaine, you?
We are in the second year of conversion, so next year I will sell it as an organic product.
Okay, next year you will get the
3 years.
So Maxime, in your case then, Tiphaine, if she was selling her products through you, she would no longer be able to do so, right? Once she is officially organic and has the label.
Yeah, indeed. Today, what we do is to help farmers like Tiphaine, for example, to come back into normal distribution. So we have cooperatives. I don't know what's the name in English. Maybe it's COP. So we have a group of producers, and so we help them go back to this group and sell their products in the normal way, in the normal organic way. But you are also thinking to, conversion is a good step, but what can we do next? And so we are developing a new range of products, organic products. And so we want to go a bit further than only organic and go to, for example, BioDemain and help farmers to go a little step further.
To help farmers to even take this first very big step of deciding to convert to organic, what do you think would help them? What do you think would encourage them? Maybe to have an official conversion label, just like you have the organic label, to have a better justification of why that product might have a bit of a higher price? Do you think this would be something that would encourage more people to take this step?
I don't know. Probably there would be some help for them, because it's true that it's like an investment. Right now you start changing your practices, but for 3 years you are not bio.
Yeah.
You are not organic. Then you have to wait. You are doing the effort and you have to wait, and that's difficult for many people, this investment. So having some help, like what you're doing, to help the farmers for the transition would be really good. Yeah.
Okay. And Tiphaine, what do you think?
Yes, that can be a tool for farmers that can help them to go bio. Yes, there are. I think that there is no one solution, but that can help.
That can help. Okay. And Maxime, what is your opinion on this?
I don't really know how it works in Spain, so I will speak only for French farmers, but I think there is not that much technical problem. So I wouldn't work on this, because we have a lot of people helping us here in France, to experts of agronomy to help us to go to organic. So I think it's more about financial problems. So finding a label, it could be a solution to help French farmers, but for the customer, it's really like too much labels.
Yeah,
That's true.
For the customer to know, okay, so that's conversion, so that's organic, that's almost organic.
Biodynamic.
Yeah.
Too complicated. I think something really simple is to increase the subventions to farmers, or to help them having loans, or maybe just lend them money. It could be really simple solutions to help them go through this little gap of conversion. And
what can the consumers do from a consumer? Because this is more on a political level, I guess. But as a consumer, what can we do? How can consumers contribute to encourage this movement?
I think by just buying organic conversion products at a fair price.
There's also a thing that normally as consumers we don't realize, but there's a phrase that says that as customers, as clients, we have the power to define the world that we want to create. What does it mean? That every day when you are buying, you are buying tomatoes, or you are buying a new smartphone, you have the opportunity to invest your money in whatever you want to make the future be. And that's amazing to really tell the people that if you want this in the future, you are investing your money every day. You have the power.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Tiphaine, anything you would add?
On Sunday, we will vote in France, and I think that consumers can vote by while they are doing their course and while they are buying products. You can vote also with the products that you buy.
To buy, that's good. I think, Maxime?
Speaking about politics, I think that, and that's a European thing, but as European citizens, we can all vote for European legislatives and vote for people that who have ambitious plan for agriculture, especially for sustainable agriculture. So I think as all of us, as European citizens, we can really have a big impact thanks to politics.
Okay. I think that's a nice way, very kind of poetic way to end this little chat of ours. I would have so many more questions, but I'm afraid we're running out of time as per usual with these things. Thank you so much for joining me, all of you.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you to our listeners and people watching us for being with us for another episode. We hope you enjoyed this little field trip into the world of conversion to organic, what the road to conversion looks like. And yes, thank you all. Bye.